The Forbidden's fleet, the morning sun cast long shadows across the Mars shipyard as Captain Jack Turner watched the final welds being completed on humanity's greatest secret. The massive vessel before him looked like a cargo hauler to any casual observer, but Jack knew better. Hidden beneath its plain metal hull lay enough firepower to level a small moon. "Sir, the Council inspectors are requesting another tour of the facility," reported Lieutenant Maya Brooks, her voice tight with worry. The young officer had been part of the secret project from the beginning, and the stress showed in her tired eyes. Jack nodded grimly. 3 years had passed since the Galactic Council had banned human warships. The other alien races claimed it was for galactic peace, but Jack knew the real reason. Humanity had proven too dangerous in the last border conflict with the reptilian Empire. Their ships had been too fast, too clever, and too deadly. The ban had been simple. Humans could only build transport ships, mining vessels, and basic patrol craft. No weapons above Class II energy output. No armor thicker than standard commercial grade. No military formations larger than a squadron. The other races would handle galactic security from now on. But humanity had never been good at following rules they didn't agree with. "Tell the inspectors we'll be ready in an hour," Jack said. "Make sure the weapon bays are sealed and the fake cargo is in place." The secret had started small. A few engineers working late nights in hidden sections of civilian shipyards. A handful of military officers who refused to accept humanity's forced retirement from galactic defense. But as word spread through quiet channels, the project grew. Dr. Elena Vasquez, head of the Mars facility, approached with a datapad in hand. The brilliant scientist had designed most of the hidden weapon systems herself. "The new plasma cannons are testing at 300% above regulation limits," she reported with satisfaction. "The aliens won't know what hit them." Jack studied the numbers. Impressive, but they would need more than impressive to succeed. The Galactic Council had fleets numbering in the thousands. Humanity's secret force was barely 200 ships, scattered across a dozen hidden bases throughout the solar system. "What about the other projects?" Jack asked. Elena's eyes lit up. "The stealth coding is working perfectly. Our ships can hide in plain sight among regular traffic. The new engine design gives us twice the speed of standard Council vessels. And the eye-targeting systems ... double quotes." She paused, grinning. "Let's just say our accuracy rates are making the old fleet look like amateurs." The secret project had consumed massive resources. Entire asteroid mining operations had been redirected to provide rare metals. Transport ships regularly disappeared from shipping logs, only to reappear months later with hidden weapon compartments. Thousands of workers across the system knew pieces of the puzzle, but few understood the full scope. Lieutenant Brooks returned with an update. "The inspectors are here, sir. 3 of them this time. A blue-skinned Aquarian, a tall gray one from the Mechanical Union, and ... She hesitated, a human." Jack's jaw tightened. Humanity's forced cooperation with the Council had created collaborators. Some humans genuinely believed the ban was justified. Others simply wanted to stay on the winning side. Both types made his job harder. "The human inspector is Commander Davis," Brooks continued. "Former Earth Defense Force. He seems suspicious." Jack knew Davis by reputation. A by-the-book officer who had publicly supported the weapons ban after the war. The kind of man who would report violations without hesitation. "All right, people," Jack announced to his team. "This is what we've trained for. Remember, we're just building cargo haulers and mining ships. Nothing to see here." As the inspection team entered the facility, Jack felt the weight of humanity's future on his shoulders. The secret fleet was nearly complete, but they needed more time. The hidden bases still required finishing touches. The weapon systems needed final calibration. Most importantly, they needed to coordinate with similar projects on other worlds. The Aquarian inspector was examining a cargo bay that actually concealed torpedo tubes. His translator device buzzed as he spoke to his companions. The gray alien was scanning the hull with some kind of detection device. While Commander Davis watched everything with sharp, suspicious eyes, Jack forced himself to remain calm. The deception had worked for 3 years. It could work for a few more months. After that, the galaxy would learn that humanity had never truly disarmed. They had simply gotten better at hiding their weapons. The inspection lasted 2 hours. When it ended, the aliens seemed satisfied. But as Commander Davis left, he gave Jack a long, measuring look that suggested their secret might not be as safe as they hoped. Commander Davis didn't sleep that night. He sat in his quarters aboard the Council inspection ship, staring at the data from the Mars facility. Something was wrong. The energy readings didn't match the equipment supposedly installed. The hull thickness measurements were inconsistent. Most telling of all, the workers had been too calm, too rehearsed. He had seen that look before during the war. It was the expression of soldiers keeping secrets. Davis opened a secure channel to Council headquarters. The blue face of Admiral Kethvor appeared on his screen, the Aquarian's gill slits fluttering with mild annoyance at being disturbed during his rest cycle. "Commander Davis," the alien said in his translated voice, "I trust the inspection went well." "Sir, I believe the humans are hiding something at the Mars facility," Davis reported. "I request permission to conduct a surprise inspection with full scanning equipment." The Admiral's large eyes studied Davis carefully. "That is a serious accusation. The humans have been compliant for 3 years. Their shipping records are clean. Their energy usage is within normal parameters. With respect, sir, I know my own species. We don't accept defeat easily. The Mars facility is building more than cargo ships." Admiral Kethvar was quiet for a long moment. The Aquarian had been one of the architects of the human weapons ban. He understood the threat humanity posed when properly armed. "Very well," the Admiral decided. "Take a full inspection team. Use deep scan equipment. If you find evidence of violations, we will act immediately." Meanwhile, on Mars, Jack Turner was holding an emergency meeting in a shielded chamber deep beneath the shipyard. The room was cramped, filled with the project's key personnel. Dr. Vasquez looked worried. Lieutenant Brooks was reviewing security footage from the inspection. "Davis knows," Jack said without preamble. "I saw it in his eyes. He'll be back with better equipment." "How long do we have?" asked Chief Engineer Tom Riley, a gruff man who had spent 40 years building ships for the human fleet. "Days, maybe hours," Jack replied. "We need to accelerate the timeline." Dr. Vasquez shook her head. "The weapon systems aren't fully calibrated. The stealth coating needs another week of curing. If we don't rush this, there won't be a project left to save." Jack interrupted. "Tom, how many ships are combat ready?" The engineer consulted his tablet. 47 vessels at this facility. Maybe 30 more across the other bases. Not nearly enough to challenge the Council's main fleet. "It'll have to be enough," Jack decided. "Signal the other bases. Operation Breakout begins in 12 hours. Lieutenant Brooks looked up from her screen. "Sir, we're receiving reports from Earth. Council ships are moving toward the outer colonies. They're positioning for something big." Jack felt a chill. The timing was too convenient. Either the Council suspected multiple facilities, or something else was happening. "What kind of movement?" he asked. "Battle formations," Brooks replied. 3 full fleets converging on the Jupiter system. They're calling it a training exercise. Dr. Vasquez stood up suddenly. "The Jupiter facilities, they're not just inspecting us. They're planning to hit all the secret bases at once." The room fell silent. If the Council had discovered the full scope of their project, humanity's secret fleet would be destroyed before it could ever launch. "Sir," Chief Riley said quietly, "there's something else. We intercepted a transmission from the Council ship. Commander Davis isn't just requesting another inspection. He's bringing a battle group." Jack's blood ran cold. A battle group meant the Council was preparing for armed resistance. They knew about the weapons. "How long until they arrive?" Jack asked. 6 hours, Brooks replied. Jack turned to address the room. "All right, people. We always knew this day might come. We're not ready, but we're out of time. Tom, begin emergency launch preparations for all combat-ready vessels. Elena, activate every weapon system we have, calibrated or not. Maya, send the breakout signal to all bases immediately." "Sir," Dr. Vasquez said, "without proper testing, some of the weapons might malfunction." "We could lose ships." "We'll lose everything if we don't try," Jack replied. "The Council thinks they've cornered us. They think humanity will surrender quietly again. They're about to learn that humans fight hardest when backed into a corner." As the team dispersed to their tasks, Jack remained in the chamber for a moment. Through the reinforced walls, he could hear the rumble of ship engines coming online. The secret was out. The hidden fleet would have to reveal itself. The galaxy was about to rediscover why they had feared human warships in the first place. Asterisk. The Mars shipyard erupted into controlled chaos as alarms blared throughout the facility. Workers who had spent 3 years pretending to build cargo ships now revealed their true purpose. Hidden weapon bays opened like blooming flowers. Fake hull panels slid away to expose armor plating. Ships that had looked like peaceful haulers transformed into instruments of War God Captain Jack Turner stood on the bridge of the UHS Defiance, the first ship to clear the facility's camouflaged launch bay. Through the view screen, he watched dozens of vessels emerging from concealment across the Martian surface. Each ship had been carefully designed to fool inspectors, but now they showed their true nature. "Sir, we're receiving launch confirmations from all hidden bases," reported Lieutenant Brooks from the communication station. "Earth base has 23 ships ready. Europa Station confirms 18 vessels. The asteroid belt facilities are bringing 31 ships online." Jack nodded grimly. Nearly 100 ships in total. Against the Council's thousands, it seemed. Hopeless, but humanity had never won through numbers alone. "What's the status on the Council battle group?" Jack asked. 4 hours out and closing fast," Brooks replied. "Commander Davis is leading them in the CNS Judgment. 3 heavy cruisers, 8 destroyers, and 2 support vessels." Dr. Vasquez, now serving as the ship's science officer, looked up from her. "Consul, their formation suggests they expect minimal resistance. They're not taking us seriously." "Good," Jack said. "Let's keep it that way. All ships maintain cargo hauler profiles until we reach optimal firing range. Weapons cold stealth. Systems active. The human fleet spread out across the solar system, each ship following carefully planned routes that would appear innocent to Council sensors. Years of preparation had gone into this moment. Every captain knew their role. Every crew member understood the stakes. On the bridge of the CNS Judgment, Commander Davis studied the tactical display with growing unease. The human ships were moving, but their patterns seemed random. Cargo haulers heading for mining operations. Transport vessels carrying supplies to the outer colonies. Nothing that suggested military activity. "Sir," reported the ship's Aquarian. "Sensor officer, we're detecting increased energy signatures from the Mars facility, but they're consistent with normal industrial operations." Davis frowned. His instincts screamed that something was wrong, but the evidence suggested normal civilian activity. Either he was paranoid, or the humans were better at deception than he'd given them credit for. "Continue the approach," he ordered. "All ships maintain battle readiness. If the humans are hiding something, we'll find it." 3 hours later, the two forces began to converge near the asteroid belt. The Council battle group maintained a tight formation, their weapons charged and shields raised. The scattered human ships continued their apparent civilian activities, seemingly unaware of the military presence. Jack Turner watched the enemy formation on his tactical display. The Council ships were exactly where he wanted them, overconfident, bunched together, following predictable patterns. "All ships, this is Defiance," he broadcast on the encrypted channel. "Operation Breakout is now active. Repeat, Operation Breakout is active." Across the solar system, humanity's secret fleet dropped their disguises. Cargo bays opened to reveal missile launchers. Mining lasers powered up to reveal their true nature as plasma cannons. Transport ships shed their outer hulls to expose the warships beneath. The Council battle group had seconds to react. Alarm! Klaxons wailed aboard the CNS Judgment as sensor readings suddenly showed nearly 100 armed vessels, where moments before there had been only civilian traffic. "Impossible," Davis whispered. "They can't have built that many ships without us." Knowing. But even as he spoke, the first human weapons began to fire. Plasma bolts lanced through space with deadly accuracy. Missiles streaked toward their targets in carefully coordinated salvos. The asteroid belt, thought to be empty space, suddenly revealed hidden weapons platforms that had been disguised as mining equipment. The Council ships, caught completely off guard, struggled to respond. Their formation, so perfect for intimidation, became a liability as they found themselves surrounded by enemies they hadn't seen coming. The UHS Defiance led the assault, her hidden weapons systems performing flawlessly despite the rushed deployment. Jack watched with satisfaction as their first salvo punched through the shields of a Council destroyer, sending it spinning helplessly through space. "Sir," Dr. Vasquez called out, "the Council ships are trying to scatter. They're sending distress signals to their main fleet." "Let them," Jack replied. "By the time reinforcements arrive, we'll be long gone. All ships continue the attack. Show them why they banned our warships in the first place." The battle lasted less than an hour. When it ended, the Council's battle group was destroyed or disabled. Not a single human ship had been lost. The secret fleet had announced itself to the galaxy in the most dramatic way possible. The ban on human warships was over. The war for humanity's freedom had begun. The emergency session of the Galactic Council convened within hours of the asteroid belt incident. Representatives from dozens of species gathered in the great chamber on Capitol Station, their various forms of communication creating a cacophony of translated voices. The massive holographic display at the center showed the wreckage of the Council battle group, a stark reminder of humanity's return to warfare. Admiral Kethver stood before the assembly, his blue skin darker than usual with stress. "The human deception was complete," he announced. "For 3 years, they built a secret fleet under our very noses. Our intelligence networks failed completely." A tall, insectoid representative from the Hive Collective clicked its mandibles in agitation. "How many ships do they possess? What is their true military capability?" "Unknown," the Admiral admitted. "Our initial estimates suggested fewer than 100 vessels, but new intelligence suggests they may have additional facilities we haven't discovered. Their technology appears significantly advanced beyond what we allowed them to develop." From the reptilian section, Ambassador Vexter hissed his displeasure. "The humans were defeated 3 years ago. They accepted the ban. They agreed to limit their military capabilities. This is a clear violation of galactic law. The law matters little if we cannot enforce it. replied the mechanical voice of Unit 7749 from the synthetic collective. The question is not whether. They broke the law, but how we respond to their renewed threat. The debate continued for hours. Some species called for immediate military action. Others suggested diplomatic solutions. A few, particularly those who had suffered under Council rule, quietly wondered if humanity might have the right idea. Meanwhile, in the depths of space, the human fleet was already implementing its next phase. Captain Jack Turner stood in the command center of a converted asteroid base, watching tactical displays that showed the movement of Council forces across the galaxy. "They're mobilizing everything," reported Lieutenant Brooks. 12. Full fleets are converging on human space. They're not taking any chances this time. Dr. Vasquez looked up from her analysis station. The good news is that our stealth technology is working better than expected. Council sensors are having trouble tracking our ships. The bad news is that they have overwhelming numbers. Numbers only matter if they can bring them to bear, Jack replied. What's the status on the other colonial races? Chief Engineer Riley consulted his communications array. The Centauri miners are interested in our proposal. They've been pushed around by the Council for decades. The Tau colonies are more cautious, but they're listening. The independent worlds are already organizing their own fleets. Jack nodded with satisfaction. The human rebellion was spreading beyond humanity itself. Other species who had been marginalized by the Council were seeing an opportunity for their own freedom. "Sir," Brooks interrupted, "we're receiving a transmission from Earth. It's coming through official channels." The holographic display flickered to life, showing the face of President Martinez. The elderly woman looked tired but determined. "Captain Turner," she began, "I'm speaking to you as both the President of Earth and as someone who fought in the last war. The Council has issued an ultimatum. They want us to surrender the secret fleet and submit to immediate inspection of all human facilities. They're giving us 72 hours to comply." Jack felt his jaw tighten. "And your response, Madam President?" "The same response we gave them 3 years ago when they first tried to disarm us," Martinez replied. "We will defend ourselves. The secret fleet has the full support of the human government. Do what you must to protect our people." The transmission ended, leaving the command center in silence. After a moment, Dr. Vasquez spoke up. "Sir, I've been analyzing the Council's fleet movements. They're making a mistake. They're concentrating their forces for a massive assault on human space, but they're leaving their own worlds lightly defended." Jack studied the tactical display with new interest. The Council's strategy was predictable. Overwhelming force applied to crush the rebellion quickly. But predictable strategies had weaknesses. They expect us to defend our colonies, he realized. They think we'll meet them in battle around Earth or Mars. But we're not going to do that, Chief Riley said, understanding dawning in his voice. "No," Jack agreed, "we're going to do what humans do best. We're going to fight dirty. All ships, new orders. We're not defending human space. We're taking the war to them." The secret fleet began to move again, but this time they weren't heading toward human colonies. They were heading toward the heart of Council space, where the alien homeworlds lay protected by skeleton fleets. The Council wanted to crush the human rebellion. They were about to learn that humanity had never fought a defensive war when they had the option to attack. The Aquarian homeworld of Kefles had not seen military action in over a century. Its orbital defenses were minimal, designed more for show than actual protection. The planet's blue oceans sparkled peacefully in the light of its twin suns, while massive underwater cities housed billions of aquatic beings who had grown comfortable with their species. Dominance in the galaxy. Admiral Kethfor was aboard his flagship 3 systems away when the first human ships materialized out of stealth near his homeworld. The emergency transmission reached him just as he was preparing to launch his assault on human space. "Admiral," the panicked voice of the planetary defense coordinator crackled through the comm. "We have human vessels in our system. They're demanding our surrender." Kethfer S. Gills fluttered in shock. "Impossible. The entire human fleet is contained in their own system. Our intelligence confirms it. Sir, I'm looking at 30 human warships in orbit above our capital city. They're broadcasting on all frequencies." The Admiral quickly established a connection to the human fleet. The face that appeared on his screen was weathered and determined. Captain Jack Turner looked directly into the camera as he spoke. "Admiral Kethfer, I presume you're watching this. My name is Captain Turner of the Human Defense Force. We have similar fleets in orbit around 7 other Council homeworlds. Your choice is simple. Call off your attack on human space, or watch your own worlds burn." The transmission cut out, leaving the Admiral staring at a blank screen. His tactical officer, a young Aquarian named Velther, looked up from his console with wide eyes. "Sir, we're receiving reports from across Council space. Human fleets have appeared at Reptilian Prime, the Hive Collective's central worlds, the Mechanical Union's core systems, and 4 other major planets. They're all making the same demand." Kethfer felt his carefully planned strategy crumbling. He had concentrated his forces for a crushing blow against humanity, never imagining they would strike at the heart of the Council itself. "How did they get so many ships past our defenses?" he asked. "The stealth technology, sir. Our sensors can't track them effectively. They could have been positioning for weeks without our knowledge. On the bridge of the UHS Defiance, now in orbit." Around Keflas, Jack Turner was coordinating with his fellow captains across the galaxy. The holographic display showed the positions of all human forces, scattered across dozens of star systems. "Status report," he called out. "Reptilian Prime is secured," reported Captain Stone from the UHS Vengeance. "Their defense fleet surrendered without firing a shot. Apparently, they remember our plasma cannons from the war." "The Hive worlds are more stubborn," added Captain Hayes from the UHS Retribution. "They're mobilizing their swarm ships, but they're too late. We control the orbital space." Dr. Vasquez, monitoring communications from the enemy, looked up with a grim smile. "Sir, we're intercepting massive amounts of chatter from Council forces. They're being recalled from their assault on human space." "Admiral Kethfer is ordering a full retreat," Jack nodded. The gamble was working. By striking at the enemy's homes instead of defending their own, humanity had turned the tables completely. "Sir," Lieutenant Brooks called out, "we're receiving a transmission from the Galactic Council. They're requesting immediate negotiations." A holographic display flickered to life, showing the emergency session of the Council. Admiral Kethfer's face appeared, his blue skin pale with stress. "Captain Turner," the Admiral began, "your attack on civilian targets is a violation of galactic law. We demand you withdraw immediately. The same law that banned our warships?" Jack replied, "The same law that would have left us defenseless against future attacks? We're not interested in your laws, Admiral. We're interested in results. What do you want?" Jack's expression was stone cold. "The ban on human warships is lifted immediately. All restrictions on human military development are removed. The Council recognizes humanity's right to defend itself. And most importantly, you never threaten us again." The Council chamber erupted in translated voices as representatives argued among themselves. Some called for continued resistance. Others pointed out that their homeworlds were at the mercy of human weapons. Finally, Admiral Kethfer spoke again. "And if we refuse?" "Then you'll learn why you banned our warships in the first place," Jack replied, "the hard way." The silence stretched for long moments. Then, slowly, the Admiral nodded his acceptance. "The Galactic Council agrees to your terms. A ban on human warships is hereby lifted. Jack smiled for the first time in days. Excellent. Oh, and Admiral? Next time you try to disarm us, remember this moment. Humanity doesn't surrender. We adapt, we overcome, and we never forget. The transmission ended. Across the galaxy, human ships began their journey home, their mission complete. The secret fleet had achieved in days what diplomacy had failed to accomplish in years. Humanity was free to defend itself once again. The galaxy would never make the mistake of trying to cage them again. The end asterisk.